Afternoon. It's my honor and privilege to be at the Delhi edition of the BW Smart Cities Dialogue. Some of you I met at the launch of BW Smart Cities 6 months back. It's been 6 months since we launched BW Smart Cities. I'd also like to acknowledge the presence of my senior colleague, Mr. Karan Bhatia, who's the business head of BW Smart Cities, and Lakshay, who works very closely with Preeti to make sure that this community that we are serving is served well. We've got the basics of what smart cities are out. I think in the last 6 months, there's been some agreement. I would say not full agreement, but some agreement on what the basics of smart cities are, what the definitions are. The smart cities that have been selected by the Government of India in terms of the Amrut and Smart City Mission have been announced. Now it's the issue of implementation. So what we are doing at Smart Cities now, BW Smart Cities, is that we are looking at how we can be a catalyst in implementation of what is being discussed in our conferences, being discussed in the magazine, whether in the BW Smart Cities or in Businessworld itself. And I hope that today's initiative is really a progress on the last dialogue that, sir, you were also there, and some of you were there. So I'm not an expert in smart cities, but I started my career after I passed out of a business school. I joined a real estate company and I set that up in India, fairly large, about 1,200 crores now. And so I have some understanding of urban planning, and I was telling Nitin from YES Institute that the basic issue with any new initiative is that in the race to be first and catch up, sometimes we forget basics in India. Our governor of RBI, who did a Diwali gift to us, so to say, yesterday, to maybe not some of us, but for some of them it's good, also talked about how we're not really world class, we're very mediocre. So sometimes our thinking is superior, but our implementation is really mediocre. It doesn't match. Even if you take the current government, which has all the right intent, is doing all the right things, whether promoting India abroad or by coining these terms and these initiatives, it is bringing the focus back on doing some of the things that we missed doing in the past. And we keep talking about how to reduce the pressure on our city. So I think this time when we talk of implementation, I only talk of implementation. I hope we are able to take these ideas to map implementation. That would be my request to my editorial colleagues and Preeti in particular. So I hope today we can go back with a very shared agenda of implementation and not just articulation and discussion of what we did in the last few initiatives that we did. We are making sure that every month we go to a state capital and engage the stakeholders in that state in doing deliberations and again discussing the specific cities that have been chosen from that state and its specific issues. So not discussing on a very macro level, but really very, very micro. Because I think in the last 4 issues of the print magazine and the last 6 months of the online, we've dealt a lot with macro issues. And some of it we'll keep, policy issues we'll keep dealing. But it is about implementation in those cities. I think that's where we as a editorial product and our events will focus on. So I hope we involve you and we benefit from your expertise and your leadership in these domains.